All right, this is Chris Reynolds with Tabi Barber, and we're the All Pro team, and this is All Pro Team Talks. And we're excited because we're going to be talking about buyers today. Buyers. Now, so Tabi is obviously one of our sales agents on this team, but you deal with a lot of buyers, and you're probably the best at dealing with buyers. So we're going to help you out as a buyer, or even if you're just kind of interested in this whole real estate game. So let's talk through it, Tabi.
Okay.
Where does it begin? What does that initial meeting look like with buyers?
Well, most of the time it starts with a phone call.
Yeah.
And sometimes I handle the meeting over the phone, asking them questions and everything, or I'll just send them a buyer's questionnaire.
Okay.
Which is very helpful because it asks a ton of questions.
Sure.
Lots of questions that helps us as realtors know what they're looking for, exactly what they're looking for. And then we go over the plan of how it is, the different steps that it takes to buy a home.
Sure.
And the process.
So what are one of those steps? If I'm ready to buy a home, what is the first thing that you're asking me to do here?
The very first question I'm going to ask is, do you have a lender?
Okay.
And do you have a pre-qualification letter? Because that's
Law.
very important.
Yes.
Very important. We can't even really start looking until we know what you're qualified for, the price point that you're qualified for. And that's where it all begins right there.
So pre-qualification, it's just going to let you know how much buying power I have.
Exactly.
And do I find that on my own, or is that something that you provide our buyers with?
No, I usually give the buyer
Okay.
a couple of lenders to call and talk to, and just, people that we've worked with, and they know what they're doing, and they'll get it done quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we do. We have some incredible lenders that we work with. But I also know this. Okay, I pastored for a long time, did a lot of premarital counseling, and I know expectations with husbands and wives, they don't always look the same. How does that work out for you? Like, what kind of questions are you asking when we get to the point we got the pre-qualification knocked out? What does that conversation look like?
Well, that's why if there's a couple, I give them each a buyer questionnaire to fill out, because that's always interesting.
Right.
Because sometimes they're the same.
Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? I just always remember that, right? How many kids would you like? 8, 0. Okay, we got something to talk about. So we're talking the same thing with bedrooms and bathrooms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes they answer the same questions, identical.
Yeah.
And then you get to the houses that we're looking at, and they're completely on a different page.
Oh, sure.
So it's always interesting.
Yeah.
But one gives, one takes, one, it's always like that. It's give and take.
Well, that's cool. So you find out, I guess location's important to most people.
And then the next step is really to find out what their location is looking for, their price point, and the style and the condition of the home.
Sure.
And all of that is on those questionnaires, but we really kind of feel that out more when we're looking.
So all of this is you even beginning to look.
Yes.
And so we've nailed all this down. We got the pre-qualification. They've done the questionnaire. You have, as good as you can, a picture in your mind of what they're looking for. And then what?
Then comes the fun part.
Okay.
We actually get to go out and look at houses.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll ask them also to just do a drive-by.
Sure.
Just to make sure they like where it is.
That's smart.
And they like the style of the home, the way it looks, because sometimes they look different on pictures.
Yeah.
If you've done any home shopping, you know the pictures are different than what the reality is.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we meet and we show them to different places and homes, and that starts the elimination. I call it the elimination process more so than selecting a home, because once you eliminate the ones I don't like that. I don't like.
Narrow it down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Because odds are you finding the perfect hits all of your checkpoints. It's a little impossible, right?
Right. And I always tell them that. As perfect as the house will end up being for you, there are going to be parts about it that you're going to say, that's not really what I want. But it'll be perfect for you for now.
Okay. So just to recap here, sit down, whether on the phone or in person, kind of get a questionnaire, figure out exactly what they're looking for, make sure they're working with a lender, that they can even buy a house right now, and what size based off of their buying power. And then you kind of narrow down all that. know what you're going after and you go look and you find the perfect house for them, and the rest is history, right?
Right. Well, that's the beginning.
There you go. There you go. So if you're thinking at all about buying a house, what an incredible opportunity and some incredible information. And I'm sure this conversation isn't over.
No, we got more to talk about.
There's a lot, but we want to give you snippets because it is a lot. But if we can help serve you in any capacity, obviously the All Pro team is here. Tabi knows a ton about buyers, and you can guide and direct them in ways that I've never seen before. So give us a call, and also make sure you're subscribing to our podcast. We're on every platform, Apple, whatever platform that you choose to use. I just happen to be an Apple guy, and obviously you can watch us on YouTube, but we'll catch you on our next episode.